Sunday, they're going to start the paving that will open up the road in 3 days after Sunday, right? So you guys will be able to use it then at that point, and we're all very, very excited about that. I want to acknowledge some key representatives who are here in attendance today. The first one, our MP, Mark Straw. Second, our MLA, John Martin. Laurie Thrones sends his regrets, our other MLA. He is away on holidays, and I'm sure he would be here if he wasn't doing something, I don't know, like useless. No kidding, he's having a great time and he deserves this rest. My council, I want to thank my council. This started with my council's dream and vision, and I want to acknowledge each and every one of them. So I want to start by acknowledging Councillor Sue Attrell, Councillor Chris Kluge, Councillor Ken Popoff. Is Councillor Waddington here? I did not see him. And Councillor Stuckjam. Yeah, that guy. Chuck Stam sends his regrets as well. And Councillor Jason Lum is away on a holiday as well. So hello from all of us. There is a group of people that work together with us here that are very, very important. It's Fraser Valley Regional District. And Fraser Valley Regional District, if you know, there is an area that if you go right down here, that's called Area E, right over here. And the electoral area director that looks after the Chilliwack River Valley area, E, yes, E, is Orion Engar. Orion. If you go a little further, you're going to go right through here and head up towards Cultus Lake, where there will be a roundabout pretty soon. The area director that is responsible for that is Taryn Dixon. Taryn Dixon, Area H. Taryn looks after Cultus Lake, Columbia Valley, and Lindale Beach. So thank you very much for the hard work you do. You know, unless there was actual, not just vision, not just money, unless there were people who actually knew how to build stuff, we would be in a little bit of trouble. So I want to thank that incredible group of people. Emil Anderson and Emil Anderson's representatives today. Rob and Crystal Hazel, are you here? Where are you? And I also want to thank, and Rob, just so you know, is Emil Anderson's president and Chief Operating Officer, and Mike and Kim Jacobs, EAC's CEO. Where are they? Are they here? Not here today, but a huge thank you to them. Of course, to every person who put grunt work into this, brains and grunt work, a huge thank you. Will you give it up for all of the workers? We're going to start today's ceremonies with something really extraordinary, and I want to thank some people for making this happen. Tarrington Press from Squiala and Christopher Silver. Could you wave? First, Tarrington, could you please wave for Squiala? Oh, it says Squiala, so I'm going by that. No, he's from Squay-Ban. There you go. Christopher Silver from Kilgard. Schwai Village as well. Okay, and sorry about that. Apparently I live in Abbotsford and don't know anything. The other person I want to thank is, Christopher Silver, of course, and along with the Scoutkill First Nation drum group, there's Dominic Green, Simon Williams, Philip Lockerbie, and Ashley Lockerbie. And baby Lockerbie is here too. So without further ado, I would like to call up the drummers to come forward and to do a welcome for all of you in a dance. Please put your hands together for the drummers. you so much, ladies and gentlemen. That was absolutely amazing. And now I just want to introduce to you someone who I started to introduce to you. I want to introduce to you Chief David Jimmy. And I want to say before I do so that the very first thing I want you to know about Chief Jimmy is that he is someone who builds bridges in his regular life, along with people from all different backgrounds. Every bit of diversity in our community is represented in Chief Jimmy. Chief Jimmy is probably one of the most approachable, knowledgeable men that I have met and had the pleasure to be able to work with. I am so grateful. He brings a proud heritage to talk about this morning, I hope. We do know that the very first bridge that was laid across here was laid by First Nations, by Suwali Band, along with one city councillor, Councillor Bailey at the time, in the late 1800s. So without further ado, would you please welcome the President of Chilkowiak, the President of Stalo Nation, and the Chief of Squahala Nation, Chief David Jimmy.
Hey, Swale. Lenakuya del Squi, Tolitzo Kwa Squahala. First of all, I just wanted to acknowledge Mayor Gaetz and thank her for the warm words. It's always easy to come and speak after her. I don't have to thank anybody at all, except for her because it's been done. But I want to acknowledge our drummers for coming and sharing that with us this morning, opening us up in a good way. Every time we conduct meetings or we host ceremonies, it's always important that we recognize where we are and we pay tribute and honor and respect the culture and the communities that we are in. And it's a part of who we are. We're always taught that as growing up in communities that drum beat is the sound of our heartbeat. It's the first thing we hear when we're young babies inside our mother's wombs. And so it's very much alive and well in our culture, and it's very much an important piece of who we are. It's not the only piece of our culture, but it's definitely an important aspect of who we are as a people. So I always hold my hands up extremely high to our drummers who share that gift. They carry that knowledge, and they're able to share that with each and every one of us. So thank you to the drummers. Also wanted to acknowledge go through the list because it's been said, but I just do want to acknowledge our esteemed colleagues that are here today. It's an important part of history today. I think this is something that's monumental and really significant. I've driven up this bridge, I've driven up to Cultus, I've driven up to Suwali, and I understand how the frustrations that exist, so I'm excited as well to be able to share and experiencing the new bridge opening. But I also wanted to expand a little bit on the first bridge that was built in the late 1800s. So Captain John Suwali was an old chief of Suwali in the 1800s. Was definitely ahead of his time. Someone that was a part of and instrumental in designing and building a bridge, which at the time with what they had is quite impressive. And again, forward-thinking enough, he was also one of the first to start a ferry service where he was carrying people back and forth across the river. So it's important to acknowledge those that have historically been a part of where we are today and helping us to get to where we are. And I just wanted to make sure that Suwali and those Suwali members were recognized as well as the councillor at the time. It's something that we're excited about. It's something to be, as the mayor had mentioned, I'm very much about building bridges. Very much about seeing how relationships can be nurtured and how we can forget about some of the old history that haunts us sometimes. And coming and being a part of ceremonies, being a part of different events, and having our First Nations culture recognized in these types of events is a big part of, is a big importance for me. And I think it's just a great honor to be here today. I'm not going to be very long, just shared a few words and a welcome on behalf of our communities and on behalf of the territory. We do have some commemorative paddles that you'll see over on the bridge once these are opened up. Please take one, share them. We're always taught in our culture that when we have different events or ceremonies that we call people up to be witnesses. And in this case, we're not necessarily calling up witnesses, but each and every one of you are here as a witness to what's taking place today. And in our culture, we're always taught to take what you've witnessed back and share that at home. Share that with people when you cross paths and share what the experience was like. And it's just to be able to say how important it was. So with that, I just again wanted to thank the mayor, thank our colleagues, our drummers, acknowledge each and every one of you for coming out today on such a special occasion, and welcome to the territory. Amazing.
Thank you, Chief Jimmy. I do want to talk a little bit about this project. First of all, we announced funding for this project in July 2015. And all three levels of government each contributed $4 million to the project, which is the largest joint project that has ever been funded for the city of Chilliwack. And I want to say, first of all, that it wasn't without a lot of arm wrestling and going back and forth and some saying, oh, we can never make this happen. We did make it happen, and it was a beautiful thing. And there are a couple of people I want to recognize before I go into the official part of it. I want to recognize our MP, Mark Strahl. Mark went to bat for us. He went into those sacred halls, wherever they are in Ottawa, and banged on doors and said, Chilliwack needs recognition too, and he was able to secure that funding. Could you please thank him? We sat together as well with our MLAs, Laurie Thronis and John Martin, and they did exactly the same thing in Victoria, knocking on Todd Stone's door of the day and saying we need that funding. And through their persistence, through their nagging, no, they would never nag, through their eloquent speech and impassioned tone, they were able to secure $4 million. So please thank them. So the total cost of the bridge, $12.5 million, which is a whole lot of money. If we were to just raise taxes, like if I announced it today and wanted to build it today, I would have to raise your taxes by 25% to make that done. And I think I probably wouldn't be the mayor any longer. So thank you everybody for putting money towards it. Thank you to the taxpayers of Chilliwack as well. You guys are awesome. Yeah, you can clap for yourself. So there are two people that could not be with us today, and I do want to read a quote from them. The first one, the new Vedder Bridge will significantly improve traffic flow and safety on a key local crossing and also open up more routes for pedestrians and cyclists. The Government of Canada's investment in this project reflects its commitment to meeting community needs now while laying the groundwork for economic growth and middle-class job creation well into the future. That is from the Honourable Armajit Sohi, Minister of Infrastructure and Communities. The next quote. The government is committed to addressing the infrastructure needs of communities throughout British Columbia. The multi-use design of the Vedder Bridge will benefit all members of the Chilliwack community, drivers, cyclists, and pedestrians alike. This is the kind of design that will take BC's infrastructure into the future. The Honourable Claire Trevina, Minister of Transportation and Infrastructure. There are some more thank yous, and it is such a good thing. I know you guys are probably getting tired and waiting for the free barbecue, but it's really important to thank people for the work that they did in making this happen. So again, the bridge contractor, Emil Anderson, they actually scheduled a break in their construction today so we could have this party, and they contributed $5,000 today towards this party. The Chilliwack Firefighters Charitable Society, they are incredible people, and they are barbecuers par excellence, and they are doing a free barbecue right after the ribbon cutting, so you want to line up for that. Let's thank them. Stalo Cultural Advisory Committee and the Chilkoyak Tribe, the Woodcraft Station for the children, they're decorating wood paddles at today's event. They're here en masse. Please thank them. You were greeted by some people from the 1800s today. They're fabulous. They're a little backwards in their dress, but they are fabulous, well-spoken people. They come from the Chilliwack School of Performing Arts. Please thank them. The city of Chilliwack has a great engineering staff, and they always hate it when we acknowledge them in any way. But without their persistence and their hard work, this would not have happened. And if he's here, David Blaine, will you give us a wave? He is the Director of Planning and Engineering. David Blaine, there he is, hiding. I knew he'd be. This is also a baby of Rod Sanderson, and Rod Sanderson is sick today. You know what? He's worked on this, he's dreamed it, he slept it, he's lived it, and he got so sick yesterday. Would you please let him know that you appreciate the work that he did, our Deputy Director of Engineering. Kevin Pollard is here today. He's the Supervisor of Roads, Transportation, Drainage, and Diking. Kevin, where are you? I know he's not here. He's busy doing roads, drainage, diking. All right. And then the person that kind of put the whole event together for you today is Samantha Piper, who's a public safety specialist. Could you please thank her? Where are you, Samantha? Just so you know, she's also a counselor with Harrison Hot Springs, so she plays both sides. It's awesome. Thank you, Samantha. You know, our communications people have not put in that they've had any part of it, but they've had an extreme part in planning this. I would like you to please thank Jamie Leggett, who's right in front with her camera. Hi, Jamie. Thank you, Jamie. Leanna Weeb, who is on her honeymoon right now, and of course Zoya Stuchnoff, who is the best executive assistant that a mayor could ever ask for. Thank you all. Quick note about the bridge. It's going to have wider travel lanes. You're going to feel like you're in Kramer's limousine lanes, right? Remember that one? It has wider shoulders, 2 multi-use pathways for two-way pedestrian and cyclist travel. It'll provide a safe and comfortable connection to the Vedder Rotary Trail and be part of the Trans-Canada Trail. The bridge meets our current seismic standards and flood clearance levels. As you saw from the history, many of these bridges were knocked out because of floods. And so this one will not be knocked out by a flood. Paving to connect someone's going to quote me on that, and then we're going to have a flood. I just know it. No, that's not going to happen. So the paving to connect the bridge will begin on Sunday night, and it will take place on 3 consecutive nights. Please plan to be doing something else from 8 o'clock p.m. till 7 o'clock in the morning, okay? Expect delays and detours. Oh, no, not that. We've never had that. Plan to use alternate routes, and shortly after the paving is completed, we will be open to vehicular traffic. Yay. All right. So the next part is the formal part, you know, that we cut the ribbon, we call people up for pictures and all of that. So the first people, we will cut the ribbon after I call everybody for pictures. So the first one, I need mayor and council to come forward. So if you, I can do that by myself. Mayor, go forward. And council, if you could join me, I have some pretty big scissors and we'll pretend we're cutting and then we'll really cut at the end, okay? Stay there, council, is Emo Anderson reps. If you could please come forward. Rob? invite up everybody who's elected. Everybody. That is the MLAs, MP, FERD reps, Chief Jimmy. Please come, and we're actually going to cut the ribbon. We're going to do that. Okay. Enjoy your day. If the kids want a little piece of the ribbon for memento, I'm happy to cut you a little piece. You'll have paddles to save too. Go have a wonderful, wonderful barbecue and a wonderful day. Go on down the bridge and see all the stuff.